Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Rubin, and I'm from Surface Marketing. Thank you all for joining us here at Ignite. We are so excited to bring you today's session to showcase how Surface is using natural inputs like touch and voice to make AI more intuitive. It is my pleasure today to introduce you to our next speaker, Erica Arnold. Erica is a director of natural user input at Microsoft, and she's spent years shaping how we interact with technology in natural and intuitive ways. She's an expert in pen, touch, and voice experiences and has played a key role in making our devices more flexible and creative. Please join me in welcoming Erica to the stage.
Thank you. Woo! Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right. So who here has used pen to jot something down in the last week? Any pen? Keep them up. What about a voice assistant to search something or use voice to text? Okay. If I haven't gotten you yet, in the last 30 minutes, who's used a touchscreen? Congratulations. You are all officially experts in the field of natural user interaction. So today we're going to talk about how pen, touch, and voice are essential to any workflow, but in this era of agentic AI, how they become even more essential to transforming human-computer interaction. So this is the vision that we embody within our 2-in-1 line. This idea that with a touchscreen and a pen, your PC becomes a portal to your creativity, an extension of your ideas, the most natural way to connect and interact with technology. This is the vision that we started in 2012, and it was a damn good one, because 10 years later, it is even more relevant than ever. We're living in a time where the largest growing percentage of our Windows user base, and the global workforce for that matter, are people that grew up with smartphones and touchscreens in hand. They are not only widely familiar with the lexicon of touch interaction embedded in our mental models from these devices, but they've actually come and expect it to work and are shifting towards PC Lite-related tasks to get productivity done. Our industry has responded here, of course, with a 9.3% increase year over year in the slates and detachables industry. This device is our answer for the Windows ecosystem. With a brilliant touch display, smooth handheld form factor, and the pen docked on back, always with you, ready whenever inspiration strikes, is the best instantiation of versatility and portability across our portfolio. And what's more, unlike iPad, we are running the full power of the Windows operating system, not a slimmed down version. Had to give a little dig, come on. So these are the 3 different interaction models that I refer to when I use natural user interaction. You're all apparently already experts in all 3, but let's go through them. So touch, things like select, zoom, scrubbing, zooming in and out. This is essential, and once you start using it on a device, you really can't go back. All the time this happens, I'll sit next to a friend who's a Mac user. Yes, they're friends of mine. And I'll want to zoom in on something on the screen, and it is so incredibly jarring when you tap and nothing happens back. Touchscreens are a thing on every single one of our devices, something that we're very proud of. There is still no better tool to annotate, express a nonlinear thought, or jot down a quick note or sketch than our pen. And voice is one of the fastest growing forms of human-computer interaction because of its ease of use on the go and ability to synthesize huge swaths of information across multiple endpoints. Gen Z is using it for search. Millennials are using it for talk therapy. So we continue to kind of hone in on quality and craftsmanship across each one of these areas, again, because they're so essential to all of our workflows, but together they're going to lay the groundwork for a multimodal agentic future that requires complete coupling, fluidity, and extensibility across all 3. So before we get into our multimodal AI workflows, let's talk a little bit about fundamentals. So part of the challenge in designing a true 2-in-1 is mastering the balance between form factor and interaction design. The screen size has to be big enough so you can actually get work done, open an Excel file, but it has to be small enough that you can hold it in one hand and kick back on the couch on your 5 to 9, as we call it. We refuse to compromise on battery life. We're going to offer the full power of the operating system, but the moment that you unclick the keyboard, we need to shift our interaction model. Experiences need to grow in size so they're more touch-friendly, usable, and adapt to you. So how many of you guys are pro users here? Okay, now a humble question. How many of you have used Pro throughout an entire day without unclicking a keyboard? Yeah, well great, we got some of you, but we wish that number were higher. And this is something that I am very passionate, Microsoft is very, very passionate about changing the narrative on. So my team has led kind of what started as a grassroots approach to address touch fundamentals across each of the core categories that we know users are interested in using their 2-in-1 as a tablet. They're simple things. Emailing, they're searching the web, they're checking basic finances. So since every change is really one-to-one, we kind of started to address these apps in order first. And what started as, like I said, very much grassroots has turned into an entire company-wide initiative to address touch fundamentals. So since then, this workstream has grown. We're now partnering with Windows Platform Team, Windows Experiences, Copilot, M365 to address these kind of core interaction modes that really excel with touch. We've got 50 plus scenarios identified, 32 work items in progress, much more. But what is really important about this is now we've updated our touch interaction spec and we are embedding this in all new features moving forward as a part of our craftsmanship initiative. I'm just going to show you a few visceral examples of why this matters, small targeted changes that really do make a difference. This is Outlook in portrait mode. Not awesome. Not visually, not for touch. Imagine using that far right-hand column to actually tap and send a mail. Collapse the browser panes, and suddenly it's usable. Obviously, web browsing is huge for our tablet users, and in that sense, touch keyboard becomes essential. It is the one way you can enter information into any text field. People use it not because they like it, they use it because it's their only option. So why not use voice, just like you do on your phone today? We're adding inline voice support in our touch keyboard, along with a few other improvements like sizability and scalability. So you can just speak right into the keyboard, follow up in your browser, and search. Finally, how many of us has had a truly pure intention when we log in to a new web browser to look up a certain factoid, and then you get lost in a sea of digital distraction only to end up doom scrolling about some mom who was worried that their rescue dog started bonding with their child, whatever that means. Yeah, we've all been there. I'm really excited about this one. We've partnered with Edge and Copilot to totally revamp the new tab page. So ta-da! Right when you decide what you want to query, you're greeted with this beautiful new page, a centralized search, much bigger, much more touch-friendly, and what's more, that microphone right there connects you directly to Copilot, so you can use natural language search to make any queries. As of this week, Copilot also just announced that from this page, you can actually synthesize data across 30 open browser tabs. Yeah, that's crazy. You can also even recall information. So looking for that article that you were researching last week about green energy consumption in the US, you can simply ask Copilot and it will pull it up. The final one is YouTube summarization. So gone are the days to sift through an entire hour-long video just to find that one piece of information you wanted. Copilot can now summarize the entirety of the video for you, and you can directly ask whatever question you're interested in, get on with your day. So that's just a little bit about touch. Now let's get to pen. Forget. Here. We have been honing in on our pen for the last 5 years, trying to make it as simple and object-like as possible to honor the beauty and simplicity of the analog pens that we use every day. We added a sharper tip, so you can really experience the full breadth of the tilt and shading functionality and all 4,000 points of pressure. We added a haptic motor, so as you're inking on a screen, you get that friction response that you might actually feel with inking on canvas. And finally, we changed this form factor to a nice ergonomic shape resembling a carpenter-style pencil, so it fits nicely in your hand. You have access to the button. And most recently, storing it right on the back of your device. We believe this tool is so essential that we actually put it on the device so it's charged, always with you, ready whenever inspiration strikes. I recently got lunch with an old mentor of mine. He's the chief product officer of a pretty major company that I'm not going to name. And he actually spun up his entire IT department on Surface Pro because he believed that pen was such an essential tool. And this is really because it is the one thing that allows you to think non-linearly, which is how our brain actually thinks. So all these changes, they do matter. We have 1 in every 2 Pro customers are actually purchasing a pen with their device. 63% of these users are actively using it. 20% have been converted to regular daily users. How many of you can resonate with this feeling? Yes, this is the face of perpetual cognitive overload, of constant context switching from information overload and influx. And it's the face of someone who's working with technology that wasn't designed for them, but rather forcing them to adapt to it. Thanks to advancements in on-edge compute, LLMs, and agentic workflows, we are now entering this paradigm shift in human-computer interaction where we have the opportunity to redesign experiences so they actually reflect the natural ways in which we think and interact with one another. So what this means is based on the amount of information you provide your reasoning engine, whether it's your location, your photos, your M365 graph, AI should be able to intelligently select the most contextually relevant output regardless of your input. So say I'm using voice to ask a question, make a query. Maybe I'm in a noisy environment and voice isn't the appropriate response. So instead we want to cue text or maybe a visual to answer. Contrarily, maybe I have a sheet of annotations on a large document and I want Copilot to respond in a podcast and summarize it for me. So over the next bit of this presentation, we are going to use this model to illustrate how new pen, touch, and voice features, when paired with AI, can take that old energy and leave you feeling like this. So whether you're an astrophysicist, an artist, or a financial analyst, all the magic happens when you're in your flow state. And the most disruptive thing to that flow state is context switching. So we, on our consumer Copilot, have introduced Copilot Vision. If you haven't played with it yet, it's pretty awesome, to help eliminate that problem. So let me take you back to 2014 when I was a young engineering student and tell you how I might have solved this problem back then. It would have involved 2 different textbooks, probably 3 pounds each, aeronautical engineering and physics, the laws of physics. Multiple notebooks, scribbled with all my handwriting, sweating profusely as I went from lab to lab, only to squeeze in time with a TA to end up, as the clock approaches midnight, crying in the library because I still couldn't figure it out. That's really real. It's a very real problem. So let me show you how simple this workflow becomes when I call upon Copilot and get one-on-one assistance with contextual screen understanding.
Hey, Erica. What's on your mind today?
Can you help me with some astrophysics homework?
Sure thing. Looks like you're working on rocket physics with 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 physics. What's your question?
Can you help me provide real numbers for these 3 variables based on the Saturn V?
Let's use some real numbers for the Saturn V. The exhaust velocity, VE, can be about 3,000 meters per second. The initial mass of roughly 3 million kilograms, and the final mass, 𝗦𝗲, around 1 million kilograms after burning fuel. You want to plug those into the equation.
Can you calculate the natural log then using those initial and final mass numbers?
Absolutely. So 𝗦𝗲𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, that means logarithm in binary, of 3 million over 1 million, which is roughly 1.10.
Awesome, and now if we plug that in to get the final delta V?
Let's plug it in. With an exhaust velocity of 3,000 meters per second and a natural log of 1.1, you'd get a delta V of around 3,300 meters per second. That's the maximum change in velocity for the Saturn V with those numbers. Pretty cool, right?
Awesome, thank you. I see you guys with your calculators out. I fact-checked it, it was correct. So yeah, let's talk about what just happened. So I'm in my OneNote, I'm working on this assignment, and I was able to invoke Copilot hands-free without even lifting my pen off the screen. After just quickly providing access to my screen, it was able to see exactly what I was working on, pull in data information from the web, to walk me through step by step and synthesize the information in a way that felt natural and almost like zero latency. Pretty powerful. So I was recently reading an article about, in order for a human to achieve a task, the motivation to do so has to be greater than or equal to the cognitive load required. And it's a wonder why procrastination plagues our society. And I don't think it's because lack of human motivation. It's because we make things so damn complicated. So Click to Do is a new Windows AI feature that aims at addressing this issue by helping to accelerate thought to action. So Click to Do uses local AI models running on the NPU to create a screen segmentation, allowing for entity detection on images, text, and then it intelligently infers what you might want to do based on that entity. So we worked with the Click to Do team to integrate natural touch points for touch and pen first experiences. So users can access this on tablet mode, but also provide a richer array of context to your reasoning engine, if you think back to that graph. So let's say I'm building a PowerPoint deck on endangered ecosystems, and I need to find the perfect photo for slide 4. Once I found my fish, I'm going to swipe to invoke Click to Do, tap, and simply remove the background. Copy to clipboard, paste. 2 taps later, and we are completely done. So there's a lot going on there, but let's talk through the simplicity of it. With just one finger, I was able to swipe on my tablet to invoke this experience. Once I selected the fish, entity detection was enabled, so the AI knew I was on a photo, so it offered me a series of actions related to background blur, background removal, photo-based actions. Once I select Remove Background, it actually transported me into Microsoft Paint just automatically and completed the action. And that was not sped up at all. It was literally less than a second that it removed this complex background of this mandarin fish, all because it's running on local AI models rather than taking the trip to and from the cloud. And again, this is just one small example of how this can be powerfully applied to many, many other use cases. And in this instance, to do this another way, I would have had to open Photoshop, upload this image, kind of, rotoscope around the edge, wait to remove the background, download it, and plop it right back into PowerPoint. So really, really streamlined and simplified here. Let's say I'm an architect working on a sustainable sauna design. So here's a flow with pen. I'm in my concepts mood board. I can apply some shading with my awesome sharp tip, add a few notes, and then let's say I want to zoom in here and just select this slice of information to reason over. So I'm going to send that to my 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot and ask, what are some examples of sustainable materials I can use to achieve this aesthetic? And so the brilliant thing that's happening here is once this slice gets captured, it's all in line and it's reasoning over me and my team's data. So all of the tools and recommendations here are pulled from our graph. And so very much validated, things that I've used before, I can integrate it right back into my canvas. And again, all without opening another browser tab, all without ever leaving my flow state. So what happened there, and again, we're trying to optimize these experiences for pen or touch here. With just 2 clicks, I launched the Click to Do experience, can easily lasso select with my precision pointer, send it directly to Copilot, reason over my 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 graph, integrate it, and move on. So this last demo is one that I am most excited about. And in fact, as of this week, we announced that you will now be able to Copilot will now be able to reason over your conversations while grounded in the intelligence of your 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 graph. This is for enterprise only. So what that means is as you're having a natural conversation with Copilot, it can search through all of your team's notes, your schedule, do things like calendaring, scrub through your Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents to provide you clear and concise information, again, while synthesizing across all of those endpoints for you. This is going to be a step function change in productivity. Let's check it out. Hey, Copilot. Hey, what time is my next meeting? Wondering if I have enough time to run and grab a quick bite.
Your next meeting is at 2:05 p.m. and it lasts until 2:30 p.m. So you've got a little over an hour to grab a bite before then. Should be enough time for a quick snack.
Awesome. Is there anything I need to do to prepare for that in advance?
For your 2:05 p.m. meeting, you'll be reviewing the timeline and budget for the Project EcoShield photoshoot. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, the organizer, asked to ensure the updated budget is included in the proposal deck. There's also a file with the budget details you might want to review. So just double check the budget and the proposal deck, and you should be good to go.
All right. Build a pie chart from this data set. Can you remind me what were the top expenses in the production category?
The top expenditures in the production category are concept development and creative direction, location scouting and permits, casting models, and wardrobe and styling prep. Those tend to be the largest costs.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. 𝗦𝗲𝗀 and added the budget. Let's chat through at 2 p.m. And I am off to lunch. More time for lunch, right? Okay, so what happened there is it's pretty magical. I was able to, while multitasking in my flow state, invoke Copilot hands-free. Hey, Copilot. Pops up, very non-intrusive on the bottom corner. And at first, it was able to provide me calendaring and scheduling. It was able to serve as my personal assistant, telling me when my next meeting was, who it was with, what did I need to do to prepare for it. Then I got to follow that thread very naturally and ask it, oh, I needed to add these data points from my Excel. Can you remind me what that was or what that document was called? Pulls up my Excel. From there, in the analyst category, I might naturally want to switch to keyboard because that's how we work. It should all be very fluid and interchangeable. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about that experience because it is truly giving us time back to be more present in what we're doing. And so powerful to have that true feeling of a virtual assistant at your side, ready to go whenever. So if there is one takeaway from this session is use these tools to use them in your industry, use them in your personal life to alleviate stress and be more present. Be more present with your craft, be more present with other people, and most of all, be more present with yourself. So, yeah, thank you for joining me, and we're gonna leave some time for Q&A now, so thanks. And if you guys are really curious and into this kind of stuff, we've got a lot of other sessions happening at Surface and a few different blogs to read centered around natural user input. Okay, so let's take some questions. Any brave souls? We got a microphone if need be. Come check us out at the devices bar if you want to see these demos live. We only recorded them for tech reasons here, but we can show it all to you on the show floor with our Surface devices. Cool. Someone's got a question?
Sorry, I just missed the initial part of the session, so I'm guessing this is all recorded.
Yeah, it should all be recorded. Yeah.
This was really fantastic.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.